I didn't like
It's
the
like-
I don't think anybody's gonna do it.
Pretty
Secure the nuclear
No,
bomb
he
over
did
there,
it
and if you
before
gotta
he
get away, you
got
gotta sell the whole.
So when I went to pick him
next
up
to
and he comes out of the,
Oh, yeah.
it was,
Where is it? Tasmania, it's a big island on the southern coast of Australia.
How come you applied to Hunter?
Oh, my
Southern
goodness.
coast. You heard of the Tasmanian
Because he
devil?
was-
Think about it.
Tasmanian tiger?
No, no.
Well, that's extinct. It's extinct
I know
about
that
50 years
stranger
ago.
in my house.
We got a donation.
But
and I just put it
it's
on
a nice
the-
island though. I like it.
He's been lingering.
Everybody speaks English.
since.
You know, the Queen's English, but
This
you
is-
communicate.
So,
All right.
from the angel account, so she gave him.
Right.
Angel.
Right.
I had it written down on my one deal I left at home. I remember him, count 32 or something.
Hello, everyone. Thank you all for coming. Appreciate that very much. My name is Dave Moore. I am the board chairman for the Black Canyon City Water Improvement District. The time is 5:03 p.m. and I'd like to call to order the Black Canyon City Water Improvement District Tuesday, December 17, 2024 regular board meeting, which is being held at the Black Canyon City Public Library. Our first order of business is roll call. Again, I'm Dave Moore, Chair.
Dorothy Moore, treasurer.
Alice Matheson.
And Jed Carter is not here this evening, and he's on the agenda for a little bit later on. And from the public, Greg, you want to kick it off?
Sure, Greg Watts, owner user.
Anthony Chandler.
Carol Batdorf.
Tom Strizak, owner user.
Melina Reylek.
Gabrielle.
All right, thank you very much. And from management, we have Bob Hannes, operations manager, and Lisa Chandler, office manager. All right. Agenda item 2 is reflection time. If we could have a moment of silence here, I would appreciate that very much. Okay. Agenda item 3 is our board member reports. Dorothy?
Putting up the agenda at the water office and at the post office.
Okay. Alice, do you have anything?
No, sir.
Okay. And the only thing I have is the agenda was posted on the website and the website maintenance, and that's all I had. Joining us also is Mary Hoadley and Elaine Clayton. Thank you both for coming. Agenda item 4 is the approval of the November 26, 2024 regular board meeting minutes. We received a copy of those minutes and we're missing a little bit of information. Other than that, just the financial information was not included on the copies that the board received, and that can be corrected. However, without the financial documents, it's a little premature to approve those, so I am recommending tabling November until the next board meeting, which may be in January. The minutes themselves are okay, it's just that we don't have the financials, which are the biggest part of the entire thing. So, is there a motion to entertain tabling the November 26th regular board meeting minutes?
Okay, I'll make the motion.
Dorothy Moore so moves. May I have a second?
Second.
Alice Matheson seconds. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries unanimously.
Can I ask a quick question?
Absolutely.
When you table, what does that mean? Does it, like, so if we tabled something last month that comes to this month, then we'll table it again until we go to the next board?
It's extremely rare to table something twice.
So
First time.
tabling means to wait till the next time?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
When you table it, it means you've taken no action. But
Then
it's
we'll take
it's still live and in queue. It just has not been approved.
Thank you.
Now, although not on the agenda, we have the same issue with the October 31st financial management report, which affects the minutes that were not approved with the financial report. However, that has been corrected on the financials, so that will also be brought up and either approved, or if there is an issue with it, which I doubt, tabled. But it's not on the agenda, so there is no action that is possible on that. Agenda item, so no action on the approval of the regular board meeting minutes. Treasurer's financial report, approval as of 11:30. Lisa?
Yeah.
That went out, we still have a real minor problem, correct?
No.
On November
Okay, so
30th.
I have November, December, I have last month's and this month's. There's nothing wrong with them. It's just, you said you didn't have the 1031 on the agenda. It's complete,
No.
it's done, but you wanted it on the minutes too, so you're tabling all of it.
Yeah, we have to.
Okay.
This is in reference to the November financial documents as of 11:30, this document, which did not have the complete financial data. But didn't you tell me on the November financials that you were still off by,
$11.
thank you,
Right.
$11.
So when I sent them to you today, right here they are. These
Still
are the
says-
financials, but it says reconciliation difference, $11.02.
So it's
And I
off.
explained it to
Oh.
Dave when I spoke to him, that the reason being is that you and I had not gone over them, but I did go over them with the accountant that I had, and there was all 5 of the bank accounts due, just like last time, they did reconcile. In the QuickBooks, everything we do in Enhance, we transfer to QuickBooks. When it transfers to QuickBooks, sometimes there's some anomalies, and that's what we were doing. The $11.02 is something in a transfer. Everything in the utility billing system with the bank accounts is completely good. But when you transfer them over to QuickBooks, you have to put them in different places. And so that's where the $11.02 is off. I did note that on the unofficial financial management report for 11:30, the one that I sent you. It does show there a
The reconciliation difference.
$11.02.
Okay. The October is corrected on the $880.82, I believe you said.
Which was just a
That-
transaction.
Right, you
declared
told me
last
about the transaction, I understand that. And that was corrected. The November, but you and Dorothy still need to make sure that reconciliation detail is correct on
Anytime.
October.
Yeah,
Anytime,
yeah.
okay. The November, Dorothy cannot reconcile that with or without you, without the rest of the information.
It's all right here, and I have copies for and everything.
Right.
We just have not met. We have not
Right,
got together.
I got that.
But you just
So-
sent this today. It
I
can't
No.
be on the day of the meeting.
So,
We need
I-
those things with us.
And we should probably meet way before that as well.
okay, all right, so both of those are quick fixes. However, on the treasurer's financial report for 11:30, just like with the minutes that don't have these included, I still have a recommendation to table that until the next board meeting.
Right, but I'm gonna read the bank balances in for record.
Yes, please, so that the public is aware of the balances
Yes,
on those accounts.
right.
Please do that.
Okay, so bank accounts as of November 30th, 2024. The general fund beginning balance was $210,853.91. The ending total is $168,467.88. That's in the negative difference of $42,386.03. The security deposit account was $52,990 beginning total. Ending total's the same, $52,990. With that's a zero difference. Impact Capital Fund beginning total is $134,756.52. That's the same ending total, $134,756.52. The zero difference. The Arsenic Sinking Fund beginning total $125,521.36. The ending total is $125,521.36. The zero difference. The Bank of the West / BMO account beginning total $41,784.68. The ending total of $94,762.11. That's a positive difference of $52,977.43. So total all accounts beginning total $565,906.47. And the ending total, $576,497.87. That's a positive difference of $10,591.40. The rest of that, we didn't have the reports to reconcile it, so it will be tabled for the next meeting. We also called and got the bank balances as of today on the accounts.
Yeah, please share that.
The BMO balance as of today is $130,855.81. The out-of-pie accounts, the general fund, today's balance $178,884.84. Impact Capital Fees account is $135,620.96. The Arsenic Sinking Fund was $126,360.42. Or is it 40? Is it 42 or 43?
43.
43 cents. The security deposit was $52,990. And those are all balances as of today.
Okay, yeah, they shouldn't match November, so that's good. They've all gone up except one or two. Okay, thank you. Anything else on that?
No, we need to have the reports to be able to reconcile the other things.
Yeah, you and Lisa need to get together just so, I mean, they're still on, but we still need to find that 1102. You found the 880. We got to find the 1102.
Yes, we'll find the 1102, but the 880, it was there. It was just needed.
No, I know.
Just needed to be moved from November back to October. So
Great.
That's all we had to do.
Okay, great. Appreciate that. And we had an impact fee for $2,500 as well. Okay.
5,000 last week.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, and the
Okay.
transfers didn't happen in November. That's one of the reasons why there's zero differences on the account.
That's because you guys resigned on the 18th, and I wasn't able to get signatures.
Okay.
But I did send him in after he came back.
It's not
Thank
all
you.
of us.
I
It's
am,
not all of us.
excuse me.
I'm tired of being
I
blamed
will-
for everything. Go ahead.
I'll make a motion to table the 11:30 financial management report until the next board meeting. May I have a second?
A second.
Alice seconds. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Operations report, agenda item 6. Bob?
Okay, let's see, so board report presented on December 17th. We had 23 work orders, 23 were completed. That included 2 turn-ons, 1 turn-off, 3 meter valve repair replacements, 1 main line. That's not right. Those numbers didn't get updated. Those are incorrect. Let me just go down into the body of the report. So, turn-ons, we had 1 turn-on, and that was off of Church Street. They've got the account current. 3 turn-offs on Sunrise, School Loop, and on Thompson, and those were all to repair, 2 were to repair fixed lines. The other one was just requested by the customer that shut off. We had a failed meter on Mud Springs. We replaced the meter. The turbine in the meter body got hung up and wasn't recording properly, so Joe replaced that meter. Mainline service brake leak repair. We had 4 of those. One of them was Can-Easy. One of them was on the customer side that we had to go investigate. And then a couple out at Med Springs with unknown line locations. Well, booster pump service repairs. Choya site had a motor fail. Had a motor fail that we replaced. We had 4 rereads. All of them were okay. During the reread, we noticed that we have a bad meter on Bertha, so that is going to get another work order to replace that meter. The meter's not reading properly, which has caused some of the issues with the customer. Water pressure conditions, we had 6 of those, and those were all due to, well, I should say all of them. We had one that was a bad valve on the customer side, and then the one on Turquoise was another customer issue. The line was plugged or something, I don't know exactly what the issue was. And then the other 4 were all issues that we had in our system that we then fixed, either the main line or the Choya pump motor going down. Customer service, we had requests to check for leaks on River and Spencer, and then we had somebody call about Church. We have locked off the meter because of no backflow. They have a well on their property, and until they get a backflow, we have locked off the meter, so it's shut off. We had 51 blue stakes because we're meeting on the 17th. The pink slips haven't been done yet.
Well, yeah, they have. I put them on the front. I'm sorry. Total is 68. I didn't see where you had it on the back.
Oh, okay. Okay, so 68.
Oh,
Okay. I was thinking because we just did the water billing that, or we're just reading meters that they didn't get done because it's only 17. But okay, perfect. 68. Thank you.
Out of 133.
So quarterly sample. So you notice I changed the water samples first table. We are now required to do a quarterly nitrate sample at Big John. For some reason, it triggered we triggered this year. When it gets greater than 5 milligrams per liter, which is half of the EPA's MCL, you then have to go to quarterly sampling. So I pulled a sample for this quarter, and our nitrates are down to 1.75. Again, the limit's 10, but I've added that in the quarterly sampling where normally that would just be arsenic, but that 1.75 there under Big John is nitrates. So, and maybe I need to split that out.
Yeah,
probably getting confused.
That's my question. I'm confused. This says arsenic/nitrate, and they're totally 2 different things. But
Right.
You've got them in the same table.
Right, because they're quarterly samples.
Oh.
Each of those are going to be done quarterly. So I'll figure out how to clean that up.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And that's why I was explaining it. So
Okay.
we did not take any additional arsenic samples this month and we took them in October. We were at 7, 6.3, and then 10, which again the average is 3.7, and that's a rolling quarter average. Yep. The monthly samples, total coliform, both of those were absent. And then the annual samples, there was no update to that table. And no update on the well stats. We had issues with computers. So, I get this here. Projects. So, schoolhouse loop tank pumps. Scheduling with Foster Electric to get out and to give us a quote on the repair work. So that's going to be replacing APS meter panel and updating breaker box and controls. So hopefully they can get out to that site next week.
All electrical, or does it involve pumps?
All electrical. So that was the one that
Oh, I know, the one that arced.
Yep.
That was on the APS side.
Yep. And so the electrician that I was working with doesn't have time to get out here. So
Okay.
I called Foster. Let's see, Big John, well, number 3, KP Ventures was down last week. We did a walkthrough with them. They're doing a final, kind of a final assessment to figure out how to get all their equipment in there and all that good stuff. And they're hoping to start in January to drill that well.
Okay.
The Palo Verde Ironwood main lines are all completed. All the tie-ins, the valves, everything's completed, and just working on services.
Okay.
So, that's moving along. Generator servicing, GOA April, Big John were serviced. April and Big John needed new batteries. Joe purchased some batteries and we've installed those. Let's see, the GOA generator transfer switch. We had KP Ventures come out and take a look at it to see what was going on. They believe the transfer switch is working properly, but there's a wiring issue from the transfer switch into the well pump, so that when the generator comes on, the power is going through the transfer switch, but some wire that's broke between the transfer switch and the controls to the well pumps. And that's why the well pumps did not come on 2 weeks ago. So, again, scheduling with Foster to work on that. Yes, sir.
There's a separate wiring for the transfer switch from the generator to the pump wiring than the switch that activates.
Mm-hmm.
So you got the transfer switch coming in with a set of wiring, and then you've got a switch that activates the well with a separate wiring. Is that the way this is working?
No.
And the one from the transfer is the problem.
Yeah.
We think.
You think? That's what KP Venture said. I don't know. Joe and I looked at it. We couldn't figure out what was going on, and it was. I didn't really want to deal with the transfer switch. That's beyond me.
But that would affect all 3 wells.
Mm-hmm. So if power goes out, that whole well site is down.
Yeah, that's not good.
No, it's not good at all.
Okay. Any questions on the operations report? None? I have one. Bob, on the customer service other Church Street, no backflow. Was the customer advised of this? Did they get notification?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And what was the recommended solution for the customer?
Joe gave them some contacts for installation of backflow preventers.
Okay. And that's a requirement?
We made EQ.
Well, I realize there's, guess my question is, if I had a well at my home and I didn't have a backflow, and you showed up and said, you gotta have a backflow, and I went, really? I didn't know that. And that day you turned my water off.
Right.
If that is a requirement that it happens at that instant, or do we have some leeway here? Because I know if I didn't know,
Right.
I'd be sitting here without water a week later because I can't get a stupid plumber to come out and tie in a backflow.
So this is the information that I have. I called ADQ to find out what kind of time frame we have or should give a customer. They never got back to me. He was surprised that we had wells in our system and that we would have wells and have somebody connected to the water district. So that took
Who was surprised?
ADQ. Yeah. And so I was trying to get some guidance.
No, I'm with you.
But I do know that if you had a well and you have a backflow preventer or any commercial property that has a backflow preventer, if that fails, we only have a couple of weeks to get it fixed. Or they only have a couple of weeks to get it fixed. And if it doesn't get fixed, it's a notice of violation from ADEQ.
To us.
To us.
Not to the customer.
Not to the customer.
To us.
To us.
So
we're this is
irregardless of what, or regardless of whether we shut the water off or not,
well, that if we shut them off, then
we don't get the violation.
Right.
Okay.
So this is
Understood.
kind of the gray area that we're working in, and we're trying to be sympathetic to the residents here that are connected and give them time.
Which
but-
brings up my last question, which is your letter on the outstanding customers in the system that have both a meter and no backflow.
Right. So,
And we have some customers.
yeah. And so as we find them, we are talking to them. And we have,
Yeah, speak
we've
to
taken
that.
kind of a softer approach. We know the severity of it, but we also know that they need water. So we've been trying to work with residents and go, hey, this needs to be done. We'll give you some time. And we haven't really put a time limit on it. But
Your letter reflects the time limit.
So the letter that I wrote that we haven't started handing out yet puts 4 weeks on it.
Right.
Because we have been doing a verbal, trying to communicate with them and get them moving without a letter that says you got 4 weeks. So
I think you need to hand the letter out.
Yeah.
If you got 10 or you have 20, do you know how many we have?
Do not know how many we have.
We just sent out an annual backflow preventer that was done all the time. Twice a year it's done. It's sent out in October for all of the commercial properties, and those are all in compliance. The one that wasn't was actually shut off. The woodworking place was shut off until it was fixed. But we work with a metering services company to do the commercial ones. They do also service a number of clients that we have that are residential as well. And those are
Right, but we're just referring to the ones that have wells on the property.
the one that was sucking back.
Just, yeah. So we don't know how many wells are in Black Canyon City that are connected to the system. But as we find them, Joe was talking to the residents, going, you need to get a backflow preventer.
No, I thought you had already assessed that based on what you got from ADWR or whoever you got the well sites from.
When I printed that out, there was, I want to say there's like 200 wells
Right.
in the system.
A lot of them aren't active.
And none of them are active. And then they only give a cadastral. So it's a township range, section. And so, and it's not tied to an address. Whoever, the drilling company can apply for the well drilling notice of approval. Addresses change, you know, as lots get split. The well stays in XYZ location. So as we went through it and tried to cross-reference it, it was overwhelming, and it's not even that it was overwhelming. It was hard to line an address that we're getting from our meter read sheets to an address that we're getting from ADWR, because they don't have the addresses.
Right.
And then a lot of the well drilling records are just inaccurate. I mean, we're talking about stuff that was maybe 50 years ago.
So this is not something, I'm not, we need to be consistent. We ran into Church Street with a well and no backflow preventer. So the next time we run into it, if we're gonna shut the water off at that point, their water's gonna be off until they get a backflow preventer. I understand what could happen coming from ADQ as far as the violation. But the next time you run into it, you're gonna have to treat it the same way, otherwise we're gonna have a problem, and we can't do that. Wouldn't you agree?
I would agree, yeah. And so what we were trying to do with the letter that I sent you was take that next step, because Joe has not been successful with just the verbal conversation. Nobody's taken him seriously.
That's why your excellent letter needs to be dropped off and followed up with a secondary reminder that basically like a long slip. We're shutting your water off on this date if you don't have a backflow after a certain time frame.
Okay.
Unless
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
we got to do it, we got to implement it.
Yeah.
And we read meters every single month.
Right.
So, you know, one of these months we got to incorporate where we're looking for wells.
Yeah. And Joe has a list. I think he's got like 23 of them.
23? So, all right, you got...
But, you know, is that all of them? We don't know.
Well, it's a heck of a start.
Right.
I would recommend the letter.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
strongly recommend the letter.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for that. Any other questions on the operations report? None? Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the November 23rd to December 13th management operations report. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Dorothy Moore seconds. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries unanimously. Agenda item 7 is the letter of resignation from Jed Carter. Discussion and possible action. Jed tendered his resignation effective on October 31st. That he said, I am writing to resign from my position as vice chair with the Black Canyon City Water District effective October 31st. My decision to resign is due to personal reasons, some of which are my taking care of my kids, their growth and needs. I'm grateful for the support I've had experienced during my tenure, and I am proud of what we have achieved together. I wish the new board members and the entire organization continued success. I talked to Jed about this, and he explained to me that with his children's tournaments, etc., that take place on Tuesdays, that he knows for a fact that he'll miss more than 3 meetings in a row during a year. So he felt it more appropriate to resign rather than being removed. So I accepted his letter of resignation last month. Are there any comments from the board? Jed's been, that's been 8 years, 9 years. Jed's been a board member 8, 9 years. Long time. Nothing? Alice? Nothing?
Well, he helped out a lot.
A lot. He had a lot of knowledge. He let his license lapse, but he's been a water operator for many years, and a certified wastewater operator as well.
Yeah, he had some good insight.
Yep, he had some very good insight. With that said, I'll make a motion to approve Jedediah Carter's letter of resignation effective October 31st. May I have a second?
I'll second
Alice Matheson seconds. All in favor say aye.
it. Aye.
All right, motion carries unanimously. Agenda item 8. Chandler Construction change order request for extras, discussion and possible action. Anthony submitted a change order request, for lack of a better term, that lists out 4 specific items, and I've spoken to Bob about this, who has a copy of this as well, Bob from operations, and he concurred that Tony experienced more problems than what are on this request for extras. A lot more problems. And that he was in agreement that these were reasonable requests and had no issue with it. I know I went through it. I have absolutely, and I was out to the site many times, not with Tony. I think he was very, well, Bob said this too. I think Tony was very lenient on what he could have charged the district for all the extra man hours that he had in this. Would you not agree, Bob?
I would agree, yeah.
What they are is over 80 feet of C900 6-inch water pipe to replace existing water lines. Now was $4,886. He installed, second item, installed an extra C900 to reach water line and install a tie-in on Mud Springs and Camino del Sol. He had 9 extra days with a vacuum suction trailer, excavating to locate the tie-ons for the main line for Mud Springs, Camino del Sol, and Ironwood. That was $3,376. The one thing he ran into that he had to perform was the boring under the Mud Springs Road by that, next to the river crossing. And repair of an old existing pipe that was in the river that was incorrectly noted on the plans. That was 10 to 25 feet from where we thought it was. That was $4,876. And located a water line 8-inch deep under the wash with no concrete encasement. The water line was broken and repaired in 3 separate places. Chandler Construction was required to excavate and relocate new 6-inch C900 with extra 45-degree bends and 22-degree bends to avoid the old line, and placed it 4 feet deep, covered the water line with a layer of sand, 10 yards of concrete to secure the water line in a secure placement. That was $6,718. The total amount for those 4 large items was $19,856.60. Does the board have any questions on Tony's request for those extras? Okay.
So these things were all different than the original bid.
Yes.
Yeah, so,
Extra requirements.
yeah.
Yeah, and then the old lines were off, you know, based on the drawings. You know, so Tony had bid it based on the drawings, and the drawings weren't accurate. And so it took longer to find stuff.
Yeah.
And sometimes we found them the hard way.
And that line in the riverbed was eggshell. I mean,
Yeah.
you touch it and it broke. And it broke at very inconvenient times. Night.
Yeah.
2 times, 3 times in a day.
Yeah.
Then the next day, those poor people on a wagon wheel in the surrounding area, they weren't happy. I wouldn't have been either. But they were fixed as quickly as possible. All right, if there's no other questions, may I have a motion to approve this change order request in the amount of $19,856.60.
I'll make the motion.
Dorothy Moore so moves. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Alice Matheson seconds. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries unanimously. Lisa, cut a check for Chandler Construction on your next check run. As soon as possible. Bear in mind that this sounds like a very large number. Should have been a lot more. But this is as I recall, about a $386,000 project that Tony has worked on probably an extra month that he didn't plan for.
Yeah.
So this recoups a fraction of, I don't need to tell you.
I don't need to go on.
Yeah, I don't need to tell you about. Okay, agenda item 9, discussion and possible action on the transition to new board effective January 1st, 2025. I'm going to state a few things so that the public is aware. On January 1st, 3 new board members. Elaine Clayton, Tom Strizak, and Melina Reylek are new board members that are coming on, and they have requested information from me on items that they are unaware of, and I'm hoping that they have more questions that we can resolve during public call. But I will tell you where we are right now. Alice Matheson and Dorothy Moore, the end of their term is 12/31/24. So they will be done at the end of this month. I was recalled, and instead of waiting until March and putting my case forward, I resigned, but I have to carry my term out till the end of this year. I will also be done on December 31st, which means that the structure with the backup computer will need to go to the new board, who my understanding is who will handle that is Tom Strizak. So I want to get that to you, Mr. Strizak,
Yes.
before January 1st, because that's the easiest thing to do. Website is not like that. But moving the computer towards the end of December is fine.
Right.
10-minute conversation between you and I, you go through it.
Right.
At least I need a backup just from you in the next 2 days, please.
It's ready.
Okay.
I haven't seen it yet.
Take you through a backup and tell you that I think that the district should, and we're talking $65 a year, it's nothing,
Right.
to upgrade the Macrium Reflect that we utilize to upload from the USB drive to the backup computer,
Right.
so that the 2 computers are in sync. So in the event that it's stolen, there's a fire, there's a theft, you can put that in, and the only thing that will be a handicap for Lisa is the amount of data not on the backup computer to the time, which is why you need to do backups
Regularly.
no less than 2 times a month.
Right.
3 times would be better, but you don't have to go overboard and bugger for a backup disk every single 5 days or anything.
I see.
But
Yeah.
2-3 times a month.
Mm-hmm.
Focused on around right after billing, because there's a lot of work going into billing. So towards the end of the month, if she bills it on the 22nd or 23rd or whatever the case may be, and you get a water bill too, just like the rest of us.
Sure.
That'll be kind of like a trigger of, I need to wander in and see if she's got a current backup for it.
Right.
And then the first part of the following month, you want to get one, say, on the 2nd or 3rd, after she has closed the books for that month.
Okay.
That's another, after she does a month-end closing, another great idea. I know that's 7 to 10 days from the billing, but those are 2 critical points. You don't want to lose that billing. She'll have to re-enter that entire thing from scratch. That will take you a long time. It'd take anybody a long time.
It happens to me this time.
You don't want that.
Critical.
No.
Okay, but that's the easy part. The second part is the website.
Right.
That you do not want to. You don't want anything else on that backup computer. Otherwise, it will
Of
not.
course.
No programs, no nothing. Just
Yes. It's
upload the
dedicated.
backup, and that's it.
Yes.
Dedicated to that. On your computer,
Yeah.
you need to. I did not put this in the email I sent you. I meant to.
Mm-hmm.
You need a text editor. I recommend highly Notepad++.
Is that Microsoft?
Notepad++ is not Microsoft. I don't think it's Adobe either. I don't know who makes that. But it's a great text editor, and that is what you are going to utilize to be able to upload whatever it is.
To edit.
Any
To edit
changes
or-
to the website,
Yeah.
most of those are impacted by a text editor. So,
Right.
Notepad++.
So the actual the web hosting, the web program, it doesn't.
Bluehost.com is
Okay.
our web hosting site.
Bluehost.
Bluehost. One word,
Okay.
Bluehost.
Bluehost.com. Because I won't be doing any code. So
They handle.
that's what you're talking about with this text editing.
There's code in there, but you don't have to create the wheel. You don't have to recreate the wheel. Pardon me.
Yeah.
There's coding involved, but you don't have to create it or know it.
Yeah, because I don't.
You'll be able to look back at what was done and go, oh, it'll work for you. And you're familiar, you say, with, well, you've told me, with website design and development. So,
Web design, yes, but more user-friendly, kind of platforms where,
well, the beauty of this is you've got almost 20 years worth of coding already in there. And most of the stuff you're going to be doing, you can look back at what is previous, and you can just copy it, insert it, and modify it to the current agenda or the current minutes. And if you change, like a couple days ago, I put your name instead of Sarah's on Office Management, but I don't have a photo to replace Sarah.
So it says my name with her name.
It's Lisa Chandler, and you look like Sarah.
Oh my god. Okay, well, I'll send you a picture.
But you send me a photo. Okay. I'll make it as painless as possible. We'll get together, like I had mentioned to you in the letter.
Yeah.
It'll be early January.
okay.
But put Notepad++ on your computer. you're gonna, I already told you, you need to allocate 5 gigabyte.
I have plenty, yeah. I have
Okay.
Lots of,
And in the root directory, hopefully, I'll go over that with you. I don't want to get in the weeds with this, but
yeah,
I'll make it simple. By the time we're done, you'll go, I think I got this, and you can call me anytime you have a question, and I'll walk you through it.
thank you. That's
Now,
appreciated.
if you want to do a plug-in, don't call me. If you want to do a plug-in because you found some neat thing where you can pay your bill online,
Yeah.
it would probably take me hours to research how to do that.
Yeah,
So don't call me on that.
okay. I don't think we'll be going there anytime soon, yeah.
What else?
And
I think
notepad?
that's enough for me. I want to go to public call and try to get in question. Pardon me?
You'll need to go up to, the 3 of you together, go up to BMO in Mayor and sign a signature card. But you gotta
First,
go,
well, second of the year when business
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
because we'll sign checks up till the 31st.
Right.
Then you can't sign any until you go up there. The
Right.
Yavapai ones, I don't know how you do that.
Lisa does.
I did hers, and then
Yeah.
we had,
Yeah, well, me too on that one.
yeah.
But that one's easy, right?
Yeah.
That just fill out the
And we
form.
talked about that one.
But
Right.
mayor apparently is not like
No,
that.
you have
Yeah,
to be
no,
in
the
person,
the branch wants us to go in person, the
Yeah.
3 of us could
Yep.
go together.
together.
And because it is critical that we are able to keep the operation moving along
Right,
as of the
right.
second day of the year forward.
Yeah.
With
Um,
and you will, I'm sure, need your oath of office, and they may request minutes.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
will, won't they?
Yes, they do. I've spoken with the deputy clerk of the supervisors of Yavapai County. So yes, we will.
You need to call a special meeting, I mean, in early January if it's just specifically for that.
Well, we can actually, the woman has told me that we can actually use the draft of the minutes. So Lisa has the draft of the minutes.
Once I draft it and you approve it.
It doesn't
The
even,
one we approved tonight, is that gonna be usable?
it was tabled, wasn't it? So it wasn't approved?
The minutes.
Tonight's minutes.
Oh, you're.
No, tonight's minutes are, they're
No,
not
this, we
tabled.
need the minutes from the last meeting.
Yeah.
That's where we were basically recognized by the
Yeah,
board
that would be the
as,
one.
Right.
Agenda
Board
item number
members.
9,
The
I'm
election.
recognizing that you 3 are taking over on January 1st of 2025.
so you're recognizing
Elaine
again.
Clayton, Tom
Yeah.
Strizak, and Melina Reylek.
Okay, so you're doing that now
Right this second,
again, and,
again.
Yeah, so
Okay.
either this one or the.
So we will.
but the other one is sufficient.
So, I need those minutes these minutes for this meeting,
Right,
as soon as you can
Okay,
do
yeah.
in the
I will.
next week. Okay, all
so
right.
you just want me to put the financials on so we can approve them and then they can use them?
Well, they should be the complete set of minutes of this meeting. That makes sense?
This tonight's meeting.
Tonight's meeting.
He thought we were gonna use last month's meetings for the canvas of elections?
That's where the board recognized us.
That's why.
And you
Okay.
certified basically the election results.
Okay,
So that's, I've been told by the
okay, all
deputy
right.
clerk.
I'm on the same page
Mhm.
with you now. Now my question is, have
Yes.
all 3 of you filled out your oath of office in front of a notary?
I just
No.
did here at the library with Chance.
I just got it today, so I haven't done it yet.
Oh, you just got the certificate today? Okay.
The form today, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But that, yeah, we're
Elaine?
taking care of that
I'm
promptly.
done.
She-
Mine is certified,
Notarized,
Anything
yes.
else?
or notarized.
So, yes, we have.
Okay. Agenda item 10, our final, the call to the public. Mr. Watts,
I want
you
to
have
thank
the
you.
floor.
I want to thank you for serving the board or the owner users for I don't know how many years it's been.
10.
And your wife and the new person here who's been in the district for a long time. For
Very long time.
32 and a half years.
And the two contractors and long time contractors. And all that you've done. And the question I have, or Mayor, it may be a clarification, but for about a week now, the post office has a water leak on their side of the meter. And that's their responsibility, but they don't own the building. I guess they lease it. And I know the wheels of government turn really slow. How long can that leak be on their side of the meter when we're supposed to conserve water before the district? I don't know if you have a policy or not, where you would have to step in and we're just going to turn the water off and we're going to fix it and then we're going to charge them for it. Or do we just have to let that water run and run and run and run and run, and the federal government's got deep pockets, they can just keep paying the bill? I just wondered if there's a certain time of water loss on the customer side of the meter before the district has to do something. That's my question.
I
Yeah,
thought
I
that
think
was
they
on
turn
your
it
op
off at
report.
nighttime.
Huh?
I think they turn the water off at nighttime because it's pretty dry in the morning. And I think during the day, certain times they turn it off, you know, when they use the restroom or whatever, to try to conserve.
Uh-huh. Well, I noticed
I
it was
talked-
dry in the
I-
morning.
Yeah, I talked to
If they
George,
have
they
a
turn
what?
it off.
If we have a policy on that.
Joe did, the guy at the post office, I did tell him, he
Yeah,
said
Joe
it
talked.
isn't,
But
okay.
he was asking, do we have a policy, and how long are we gonna let it run until we potentially step in and shut it off? I don't know if we have a policy.
And if
Joe, the owner, the manager of the post office is in there.
Okay. And if there is no policy, maybe the future board in the future, if this is something they choose to take on, maybe they could make a policy so we can't have owner user on their side of the meter just let the water run, even though they got $1,000 bill. We're supposed to conserve water, and maybe at a certain point or amount of gallons of water loss that you just have to step in. It's just something to contemplate. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Greg.
I wondered about that too.
So on your operations report, Mr. Honus?
Yes.
Post office / CenturyLink water leak.
So Joe went out and investigated and determined it's on their side, and his note has talked to them about it being on their side, and they need to fix the line. So.
Okay. Thank you, Greg. Appreciate that. Questions? Public call time.
Well, I would like to know if the treasurer's report is gonna be reconciled with what you said before you guys are done. Is that,
Today is what, the 12th, they're leaving in 2 weeks?
Today's the
The
17th.
17th, so if that is something, I think they might have a plans, don't you?
Thursday afternoon would work for me,
Okay,
so,
Okay.
So the answer would be yes.
as long as you have
thank
all,
you.
you have all the reports ready and.
Would you wanna look at them?
They're gonna meet on Thursday.
Yeah, they should be, both of those should be reconciled.
And by the way, the financial report should be to you days before the meeting, not on the day of the meeting,
oh, okay.
like this happened 2 times now. So,
Since they resigned.
Next question. Oh, come on, Tom. I was counting
Oh,
on you.
did I have any, well, that was,
Make it
you
an easy
answered-
one.
Well, you answered the questions pretty good, really like on the transition, and I appreciate that, you know, you're helping everything with how that's going to go, and I'm pretty sure, like you said, there will be some more questions that arise
Okay, good.
as we proceed.
Okay.
But thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you for your service to our community
Thank you. Elaine?
and everybody on.
Bob
the
was
board.
going to check at the last meeting, we talked about, when that, what was the next project, and you were gonna check, because it was supposed to be in the spring, it was one that Tony bid $180,000 on, we didn't have the money, and you were gonna call and see if Yavapai County was going to pave those, roads, or when, you were gonna try to get a date,
I have not gotten a date from the county.
did you call?
So, nope, that one fell through the cracks. I will give them a call.
Okay. Okay, so, yeah, cause that's kind of important for us to know. So if you could and get back to us on that, that would be great, thank you.
The guy from Yavapai County did come in for Blue State. cause they are doing some work on Church Street. And he did give his information, I did give it to Joe.
Okay,
So they'll be, I mean, Joe's been
yeah,
pretty
and
good
Joe
to
might
give-
know, he might.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I
yeah,
did
we
give
just
him-
kinda need to know. so
Yeah,
we
right,
can-
yep, so I need to get you that.
So he did come in.
Thank you.
There is one thing on that. They have put
I got
fiber
errands to
optics
run
in.
Thursday morning and an
on those
appointment,
streets
so
now.
it'll be after
That's all
12.
gonna have to be
Right.
crossed. And if it was done
Yeah,
before,
it'll be after
they wouldn't
12.
have had to cross all
I
that.
try to get home
But
by.
now they're in there, they gotta put it in.
Yeah.
And you don't
So
dare
Thursday,
break
this
fiber
Thursday after
optics.
twelve?
Yeah, let's make it
Charge-
one.
they charge
Make
you
sure I'm
for it.
back up into town, okay?
And that's,
Does Blue Stick
Thursday,
identify
today's
fiber
17th,
optics?
18th, 19th.
Does Blue Stick identify fiber
Yeah,
optics?
I think.
Yeah, except for the one that's putting it in doesn't. But once they get the fiber optic people, it all gets hooked up, and then they will Blue Stick it.
That I need signed if you don't
Then they
mind.
put tracer wire on the,
So for future
Me.
operation, you can get Blue Stick and they'll say this is where it
yeah,
is.
yeah,
Okay.
they have tracer
Okay.
wire on
That
the,
one we've signed.
on the utility.
What's
Would it
that?
be nice if
You wanted
pretty
that.
we had tracer wire, on
Does Blue Stick identify it as red
Well, I'll
or
just
orange?
leave it in here.
Fiber optic.
Orange.
Orange, okay.
Oh, this was quick.
You told me, be ready, stay ready, girl, I don't see you often enough. It's like, okay, I gotta get it.
Any other questions?
I just have to take
Mary.
a question. For the backflow prevention, can you just use a check valve? Can
No.
do they have to use?
No, it's gotta
an
be
actual-
a testable backflow preventer. So
And
at
then,
least,
does that
it-
mean all those homeowners have to have that tested every year?
Yep.
That have, well,
that have the wells.
yeah,
And then they have to provide you with the test information?
certification.
Yep.
Every year.
Yeah, we send it out from the office
We send it out at least twice, don't we?
twice a year.
Yeah.
I got a question on that. Depending on a private well or maybe a well that has a commercial well, are there different backflow preventers? Some are for so many PSI and some of them are for a greater PSI, or are they all the same?
They're all the same.
Okay.
There is different levels of safety per se. So there's double checks, and then there's RPZs, which is reduced pressure. So if it loses pressure, it actually dumps to the ground, and those are higher safety versus the double check. If it fails, there's two check valves in there, so there's redundancy. But if both check valves fail, it's still going to backfeed, and that's why you have them checked every year. With an RPZ, it's going to dump to the ground, and you're going to see it. When they fail, you see the failure.
Okay. Thank you, Bob.
Anyone else? Alrighty, thank you all. Our next meeting will be determined by the new board, early January probably. Meeting, what?
You need to get.
It's likely it will be a special meeting early in January.
Right, and you need to talk to the library.
Yes,
And
right, to
ahead of
see
time.
availabilities on the room.
I'll let you ahead
Right,
of time.
thank you.
That's it.
That's all.
Yeah,
That's all.
thanks.
Okay, thank you all very much. Meeting adjourned at 6:05 p.m.
You must think that. What happened to you? Yeah, I know, so you shaved?
Handed it to council. Sorry. Did you want that paper with it too?
Wow, you look really,
I just
oh, baby, you look so,
I saw my ortho doctor yesterday.
I just put it in the flyer.
Well, Christy, thanks for stepping up for a couple of months.
Oh, yes, thank you, Chrissy, very much.
What's this?
Yes.
Done for APS, it's a letter of authorization for me to call.
Not like I don't have a whole
When I was
lot to
having
do.
problems with the
exciting.
extension,
Yeah,
there
that's
were
cool.
time,
Meeting what on time?
to the New Jersey
It's me and my
State
dog.
on APS.